The gavel struck the stand with a piercing thud. "The ruling favors the claimant," the magistrate declared, his voice resonating through the crowded courtroom. "All marital properties are to be granted to the spouse." The pronouncement rang in my ears like a final judgment. My former wife, Natalie, leaned over and pressed a deliberate, gloating kiss on her lawyer's lips, as if to twist the blade further. Murmurs swept through the onlookers. The kind of murmurs that made you feel your disgrace was being broadcast live. I stood motionless, my fingers clutching the table until my knuckles paled. For months, I'd weathered deceit, slander, and fabricated testimony. She portrayed me as an aggressive alcoholic, a neglectful spouse, a man incapable of providing. Each accusation was a lie, meticulously practiced by her and her attorney, Richard Lane. But what Natalie didn't realize was that I'd been silently preparing for this moment for weeks. No, months. Every sleepless night, every composed face I wore during her tirades was part of my strategy. I wasn't merely defending myself, I was laying a snare. I inhaled deeply, then stepped forward. "Your Honor," I said steadily, "before we close, may I submit Exhibit Y?" The room stirred. Whispers spread across the seats. Exhibit Y wasn't listed among the disclosed evidence. Even Richard's smug demeanor wavered briefly. "Go ahead," the magistrate said, adjusting his spectacles. I retrieved my phone from my jacket, linked it to the courtroom's sound system, and pressed play. The first voice was unmistakably Natalie's, laced with venom. "Of course I'm taking it all, that's the goal. He'll be sleeping in his car by summer's end." Then Richard's voice, low and self-assured. "Don't fret, darling. I'll ensure the judge buys the tale completely. We've pulled this off before." The courtroom erupted. Chapter 2. The courtroom shifts. The magistrate's hand paused midair as the recording continued. Natalie's voice came again, more cutting. "And when it's done, you and I can take that vacation to Monte Carlo with his cash. Honestly, Richard, I don't care if he learns about us now. What's he going to do? He's penniless. And foolish." The final word echoed in the courtroom's stunned silence. Richard's face blanched. He shot to his feet. "Your Honor, this is—" The magistrate lifted a single hand, silencing him. His eyes were icy, his expression stern. "Sit down, Mr. Lane." For the first time in months, I held the advantage. My voice remained calm, deliberate. "That recording was obtained lawfully, Your Honor." Natalie left her phone linked to our joint cloud account. Every message, every call was automatically saved, including this exchange. A wave of astonishment swept through the room. Spectators leaned forward, phones discreetly raised to capture the moment. The magistrate leaned back, clasping his hands. "Mr. Lane, Mrs. Thompson, are those your voices on this recording?" Neither responded. Richard stared at the table. Natalie fidgeted, her grin vanished. The magistrate's tone sharpened. "This court views fraud with utmost severity. We will adjourn for 20 minutes while I examine this in chambers. Both parties are to stay here. Bailiff, monitor them." As the magistrate left, Natalie turned to me, her eyes burning with desperation. "You think this will rescue you?" she hissed. I leaned closer, speaking softly so only she could hear. "No," I said quietly. "This isn't about rescuing me, it's about dismantling you." Chapter 3. The ruling overturned. The courtroom doors opened, and the magistrate returned, a folder tucked under his arm. His face was inscrutable, but the atmosphere carried a heaviness that made even the culpable pause. He sat, adjusted his glasses, and cleared his throat. "This court has examined the recording, along with related documents found in the same cloud account. It is evident that Mrs. Thompson and her counsel engaged in a calculated plot to deceive the court, misrepresent marital assets, and hide an illicit affair for monetary gain." A hushed silence gripped the room. Richard's face was ashen and damp with sweat. Natalie's fingers tightened on the table. The magistrate continued. "As such, my prior decision is nullified. Effective immediately, Mrs. Thompson forfeits all claims to the marital estate. All shared assets, accounts, and business interests are awarded exclusively to Mr. Thompson." Gasps reverberated from the gallery. Natalie leapt up. "You can't do this. He's fabricating it all." The magistrate's gavel crashed. "Sit, or I'll charge you with contempt." She sat trembling. The magistrate wasn't finished. "Moreover, based on the evidence, this court is referring Mrs. Thompson and her counsel to the State Bar and District Attorney's Office for investigation into fraud, perjury, and conspiracy to commit financial malfeasance. Bailiff, remove Mr. Lane from this courtroom now." Richard's chair scraped loudly as two bailiffs approached. His voice faltered as he tried to object, but the handcuffs snapped shut. I remained silent. I turned to Natalie, locked eyes with her, and let a slow, satisfied smile spread across my face. For the first time since this ordeal began, she looked genuinely terrified. Chapter 4. The public repercussions. By the time I exited the courthouse, media vans lined the street. Reporters had caught wind of the trial's dramatic reversal, and the excitement was palpable. Cameras flashed as microphones were thrust toward me. "Mr. Thompson, is it true your ex-wife committed fraud? Did you know about her affair with her lawyer? What's next for you now that you've reclaimed everything?" I offered little, just a measured response. Truth always finds a way to surface. Behind me, the courthouse doors swung open. Natalie stormed out, shielding her face with her bag, but it was futile. A reporter shouted, "Natalie, any comment on the leaked recording?" The phrase spread rapidly, and suddenly every camera focused on her. That evening, the audio clip, her mocking me, boasting about seizing every cent, went viral. Someone paired it with footage of her lawyer being led away in handcuffs. The internet shredded her. Former allies distanced themselves. Her struggling company issued a statement cutting all ties. Then came the decisive blow. The state bar issued an emergency suspension of Richard's license. Without his network, Natalie's supporters vanished quickly. 3 days later, I received a text from an unknown number. "Please, can we meet? I'll go anywhere. I have nowhere left." I deleted it without responding. She had spent months trying to strip me of my home, my business, my pride. Now she was the one with nothing, and I wasn't finished. Chapter 5. The final blow. 2 weeks after the trial, an invitation arrived from the bank. Natalie had defaulted on her mortgage, and her lavish condo was set for auction. The irony was exquisite. The very property she'd bragged about taking from me during our marriage was now slipping away. That's when I acted. On auction day, I sat quietly in the back, cap pulled low, sunglasses on. Natalie entered moments later, her once immaculate hair tied back sloppily, makeup smeared. She scanned the crowd, likely hoping for a last-minute savior. When her condo came up for bidding, I didn't hesitate. My opening bid silenced the room. Another bidder tried to compete, but I countered calmly, firmly every time. When the gavel fell, the auctioneer announced, "Sold to Mr. Thompson." Natalie's head snapped toward me. Her lips quivered. "You can't. You wouldn't," I smiled. "I would, and I did." 2 days later, she returned to her condo to find movers emptying it under my instructions. Building security escorted her off the premises. I didn't keep the place. I donated it to a housing charity, ensuring the story hit the local news. Headlines read, "Man gifts ex-wife's former luxury condo to families in need." Her disgrace was absolute. The woman who once vowed to leave me with nothing now had precisely that. And I had my freedom, my honor, and the satisfaction of knowing I'd played the long game. And triumphed. Epilogue. Years later, 3 years passed. Life had grown serene. I'd invested prudently, rebuilt my business, and now ran a flourishing property development company. I wasn't just financially stable. I was truly content. My evenings were spent with trusted friends, not treading carefully around someone scheming behind my back. Then, one rainy Thursday, I stopped at a small diner on the town's outskirts. As I entered, a slumped figure at the counter caught my eye. Natalie. Her once manicured nails were chipped, her hair lackluster, and her clothes hung loosely on her frame. She was counting coins for a plain coffee. She turned and saw me. Her eyes widened, not with anger, but with embarrassment. "Thompson," she said softly, "can we talk?" I didn't sit. "Talk. You made your opinion of me clear years ago. You made your choices." "I have mine," she swallowed hard. I made errors. I lost everything. Please, just a loan to get me started again." I leaned in slightly, my voice low so only she could hear. "Natalie, you once said I had no choice but to endure you. You were wrong then, and you're wrong now. I have every choice. And today, I choose to walk away." Her eyes shimmered as I placed a $20 bill on the counter, not for her but for the waitress, and left. Outside, the rain felt refreshing, almost purifying. It occurred to me that revenge isn't just about ruining another person. Sometimes, the truest revenge is simply living a life so far above the wreckage they created for themselves that they can't even glimpse you anymore. Was this retribution entirely warranted? Share your thoughts on this tale in the comments below. Like the story if you believe this justice was deserved. Share it with someone who could use this energy, and subscribe to Lauren's Stories for more gripping tales of betrayal and retribution. Because here, every deception meets its reckoning and every betrayal casts its shadow. Stay vigilant, stay resilient, and stay tuned.